University of Michigan. I am Ian, this is Ethan, Natalie, and Christa. So at the beginning of the semester, we were tasked with designing a safe, storable, and affordable crib, and it is marketed towards low-income families or families with limited space. The main goal of this product is to provide a safe sleeping area for a child to sleep in. What happens is a lot of times people with low space don't want to use a crib, so they'll allow their children to sleep with them in bed, and this can cause a SID, which is sudden infant death. And with this, a parent could roll over and cause the suffocation of a kid and not even know it. And we want to get away from that. We want parents to put their kids in cribs. So with our crib, what's unique about it is that it allows it to fold up, and you can push it underneath the bed or put it in a closet during the day, and then at night erect it and use it to have a kid sleep in it. So the main engineering specifications for our project is, because we're going to be working with a crib, it needs to be safe, and it needs to be safe for the kids. We also need to follow the Astm standards. Cost, because we're going to be working with possible low-income families, it needs to be below $100 to $150, and we needed it to be storable and collapsible, because obviously we want to be able to put it underneath the bed. And then finally, we wanted it to be durable, and the size needed to be correct, and then we wanted it to be aesthetically pleasing, because we wanted to make sure that the parent would want it to be in a nursery or the bedroom, make sure it looks okay. So now I'm going to hand it on over to Christa, and she's going to discuss a little bit more about our design and the unique features that it has.
Alright, to highlight some of the features of the design, so as you can see, it's made of a basically steel frame with rubber feet to prevent slipping. We also feature a padded top so that the child won't injure themselves on the steel frame. This top is entirely removable to allow for washing, so that the entire fabric of the crib can be washed. Our joint is very unique also. We have a dual push button feature, so that both buttons of the crib would have to be pushed before the leg is able to collapse in. And I can actually demonstrate that over here on this joint. We collapse these, move the mattress out of the way, and then the leg collapses. Another unique feature of this crib is that the mattress is actually in a separate pocket from the child. So if we look here at the base of the crib, this will open from the base. The mattress is then removable. And that covers the main features of the crib. And I will hand it off to Natalie to go over our
validation. So when we first started designing, the first thing we started with is analysis to make sure that this crib was as safe as possible, while still being affordable. So two of the tests we did was, one was looking at beam deflection. According to Astm standards, you have to have a 20-pound force applied to the middle of your crib, and it needs to have less than certain deflection. So we looked at what was the closest we could get to this tolerance while still maintaining the safety. By doing this, we were able to cut down on costs because we could use less material. Then of course other tests added to other things we did to change it too. The second test we did is we looked at shear stress of our joints to make sure that they wouldn't fail. This is the part that's right here, as Christa just showed you, and it's the part most likely to fail, and we don't want that to happen. And besides that, we looked at where it's most likely to fail on the joint, which is right here where the push buttons go in. So we looked at what force would take to break it, and we determined that, and from that we chose the material that was less likely to break. Now I'm going to pass it on to talk about how we validated our model.
Okay, so once we had built everything, we needed to do a number of validation tests. So we did the Astm validation and some non-validation of our own. So for the Astm, we made this short video here just to go along with our specifications. We did some testing to just measure the crib, make sure it's high enough and long enough, and it collapses to less than a foot, and it's light enough and things like that. So that was the validation that we did.